everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Welcome to today's Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 624. Hello everybody, welcome in. Love today's class. We're gonna have way too much fun. Now, if you are new to my channel, hey, I'm Stacey. I'm the owner of Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. We are a small independent mom and pop shop here in Canyon Country, California. Yes, we have a retail store that you can actually walk into and see, feel, and touch the paper, honestly. But then we also do 4 classes a week here on YouTube. And if you just stumbled onto us, well, we're so glad you did. If you're watching us during the premiere of today's class, that's at 8 a.m. sunny California time, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, and 4 p.m. in the United Kingdom. Well, there is a live chat going on right now, and we would so love to have you join into that chat. Just tell us who you are, tell us where you're from, tell us how your day is going, tell us if this is the first time you've ever been on a live chat or you just happen onto our channel and decided to take a stop and see what was going on. We love meeting new crafty friends, and there is always room for one more. Now today I've got Tim Holtz for you on sale at I think we did 30% off on Tim Holtz. I've got some indigo blue, some stamps that are so lovely. We're going to be playing with FineTec paints. Yep, FineTec, which is from, well, they're distributed by Royal Talents, but FineTec is a company out of Germany that has been around since the late 1800s. Yep, I have just got a little bit of this and a little bit of that for you. My classes are full length. They are technique based and they are commercial free. So they may be long, but think about what you would pay if you went into a class, if you went to a class at a local craft store, a paper crafting store, or an art store. Would you pay $50 or $75 or $45? I don't know what you would pay, but for a class, that's what this is, but we don't charge you for it. There's no subscriptions or anything like that. You can come back and watch it as many times as you want, or you can watch a little bit now and then a little bit later and then a little bit later. Or if you're watching this after the premiere, you can go bloop, 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 the fast forward button. That's me talking super fast. Bloop, 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 bloop. And when I point the camera down, that's when you know that we have started for today. I usually talk a little bit beforehand. That's me, I'm a talker. Go figure. So I have winner chicken dinner. I think I'm gonna do that first. I'm gonna do winner chicken dinner first. And then I'll talk a little bit because we were gone this weekend, Mr. SMS and I, and 10 other people. It was 12 of us. It was our 30th anniversary, plus a special little treat for the couple SMS girls and the honorary SMS girls. So the girls who make all the samples, some of the SMS girls do, and the honorary SMS girls do. So 12 of us. Michael and I took 12 of us out for a weekend. It was a wonderful weekend. But let me talk about winner chicken dinner first. We always have 3 winners. The first winner is from a YouTube short that you will see on Instagram, Facebook, and maybe TikTok. But you have to post your comment here on our YouTube channel. And you will see a playlist called Shorts by Stacey. All you have to do is find the short for this week, and we leave it up for the whole week. So if you're just hearing about this now, you haven't missed your chance to win for next week. I leave that short up so that as many people can post to it as possible. But you can post your comment there. That's the first place. The second place is here. Right here on this YouTube class, there's a place to post your comment below. Maybe on a device, it might be to the side. I'm not exactly sure. Everybody's phone is a little different. So you post your comment here. It can be about anything, your day, your family, your crafting journey, what you made last week. Maybe you're going to a bake sale or a craft event. Whatever makes your heart happy, as long as it's kind. That's all we ask. As long as it's kind, you can post it, it's approved, and then you go into the running to win $100. So the person who wins from the short, the sneak peek leading up to this class, wins an assortment of products from today's class. And I've already pulled them, so I already know what you're gonna win. And I'm the one who pulls them. So if you don't like what I send you, I don't need to know. It's free. And yes, we have had people complain about their free gifts. Not many, but it has happened. So I've already pulled a nice selection of what's on my table for you. I just don't know who you are yet, but I do know who won last week. And that was from the Creative Art card kits and the cutouts, the bundles. They were wonderful. I want to say there was 4 card kits and 2 bundles. So I've already pulled an assortment of that out for you. And if she watched the sneak peek for this class, she already knows she's a winner chicken dinner because I announce it there too. I just don't know how to spell her. Is the H silent and it's Ren? I don't know. It's Jolyn. That I got. Easy. But H-R-E-N. Ren? You're gonna tell me one way or another. How is that? Did I say it right? Does it matter? Because you are our winner chicken dinner. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy for you. You don't have to do a single thing to claim your prize. Not a single thing. I gotta figure where to put this. Not a single thing. We already have it bagged and tagged, and we will have it out to you next week. Congratulations. Now the next 2 winners have won a $100 gift card to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And again, they don't have to do anything to claim their prize. All they have to do is spend their winnings, their winner chicken dinner. Our first winner is Terry. Terry Huey. Terry, is that right? Terry Huey, is that, did I get it? Did I come close? Terry, is that you? Are you taking a screenshot of the camera of your TV? Are you going, oh my gosh, I won. You did, you got $100. Now, where do you spend it? I don't know. Boy, if you don't have any of these FineTec paints, you may just want to drop it on FineTec paint. I'm just saying. But Terry, you are our first winner chicken dinner of $100, but we always do 2. Our second is Carol. Carol Rios? Hey Carol, hello, did I say that last name right? Rios, hello, congratulations. So happy for you, Carol. $100, $100. I mean, that's not a bad way to start the weekend, is it? Having $100 to go play with. What am I gonna get? And then you add stuff to your cart, and then you take stuff out of your cart, and then you add stuff more to your cart, and then you're like, no, I don't want that, but I thought I wanted that. $100 for the 2 of you. So Terry and Carol, you are our YouTube winner chicken dinners. Let me see if I can get this. You're our YouTube winner chicken dinners. And then Jolyn, you are our sneak peek winner chicken dinner. So all 3 of you, well done you. I know you probably have been posting forever and ever and thought you wouldn't it be funny if one of you like, this was the first time I've ever posted ever. Don't tell anybody that. I don't know how well that would go over. I think we would all be like, well, go buy a lottery ticket. I think that's kind of funny if this was the first time you ever posted. It could happen. You just never know. We have software that randomly selects winners, so you just never know. But the 3 of you, we do have to do the winner chicken dinner dance. Are you ready? Okay. You're a winner, chicken dinner. You're a winner, chicken dinner. Wahoo, ka-choo for you. Congratulations to the 3 of you. I hope you enjoy your winnings, your prizes. And for those of you who haven't won yet, don't give up. You gotta post. If you don't post, and the post can be even like, hey, H-E-Y, done. If you don't post anything, I can promise you, we won't call your name. There's no way. Now, our weekend, we went to Michael and I and an honorary SMS girl, Leslie. After I was finished filming on Friday, I tried to film early. It wasn't early. Oh my gosh, we didn't get to the hotel till after midnight. I was thinking, I'll be out of here by 5 o'clock. Who was I kidding? No. Leslie's like, we've got to go. We didn't get home until like 9:30. So we went to Ventura. We drove from Santa Clarita to Ventura, which is about an hour's drive. Easy peasy. But again, we didn't get there till about midnight. And we stayed the night Friday night, which was actually when we got there Saturday morning. That way I could get up and live chat with you from the hotel while all the other honorary SMS girls and SMS girls drove to Ventura. So I'm live chatting with you and they're on their way to Ventura, and I get done and they all get there, and we get them checked into their hotel rooms, and then we head off to Ventura Harbor, which was too much fun. We had a lovely, what was supposed to be a light lunch at Ventura Harbor. It was delicious. We went around to the little touristy shops, and it was very cool. And then later that night, one of the honorary SMS girls made reservations at a restaurant that she is very, very familiar with. And so we went there for a lovely dinner. Now, the hotel we were staying at in Ventura was the hotel that Michael and I were married at 30 years ago. We just celebrated our 30-year wedding anniversary. So the girls wanted the tour of the wedding. And so I'm like, okay, well, there's a patio out here and a garden area, and this is where we had the wedding, but the stairs were someplace different, and they moved the bridge, but there was the water in the stream, and we did pictures here, and this is where I got into a standoff with the wedding coordinator it was the DoubleTree at that time, because she forgot to book the patio for us, so we had that for our reception, and then we went upstairs, so they got the whole tour. And for those of you who don't know, Michael proposed to me on Valentine's Day at that hotel. And I'm pretty sure the same day he proposed at that hotel, it must have been a weekday, because the sales office opened up, and I immediately hauled him down to the event office, the sales office, and I said, okay, we're getting married. What dates do you have available? I need about 6 months to get it all done, but I should be able to do it by then. She pulled out her book. She goes, we've got September is pretty free. September 10th, how does that look? I said, sign us up. Michael didn't even have time. His head was spinning. He didn't even have time to hear me say yes before I had him down at the sales office planning our wedding. So for those of you who don't know, I've known my husband since I was 13, and I told him he was going to marry me. At 14, I think I told him he was going to marry me, and he patted my head and he said, run along, little kid. Only to happen that I was right. So when he finally popped the question, I'm like, we're not taking any chances. This is a very nice hotel. It's the DoubleTree. It'll work fine. People can stay. We'll book the rooms. Let's get going. So we were there at the it's now the Marriott. We were there Saturday night, and we went to a lovely dinner. We walked around the harbor, and then Sunday morning we got up. We had a nice little breakfast there at the patio. We sat at the patio, in the patio where I got married and where my reception was, and then we all got in the car and went to Santa Barbara. Oh my gosh, I wanted to do this land shark thing where you get in this big bus and they drive you around and you get a tour of Santa Barbara, and then it literally drives into the ocean, and it no longer becomes a car, it becomes a boat. I just had to do this. Now, I didn't know that Santa Barbara also had a street fair that went along, and we walked the street fair and we saw this artist, and we walked up and we were watching him paint, and I'm like, oh, you have Sumi ink. We have Sumi ink. And he's looking at me like, you know what Sumi ink is? Yes. And I said, and are those Yasutomo brushes? And he said, yes, they are. I was so proud of myself. And in fact, I bought the artwork. He was making a little painting, and I bought it because we all hovered around and we kept him busy. Can you imagine? There was 12 of us. One guy, Michael, and 11 ladies. So we were walking the art fair, and then we crossed the street and we found this wonderful restaurant to have lunch. We did that, and then we walked and got onto the bus, which took us on this fabulous little sightseeing tour of Santa Barbara, and then into the water. And then once we got into the water, they have a route that they take. You know, they kind of take you around the sea lions. But dolphins showed up. Dolphins were jumping and keeping up with our boat and going and doing high dives. And oh my gosh, I think that the boat stayed out a little bit longer than it was supposed to because we were chasing the dolphins. It was a wonderful time. And all of the SMS girls, honorary or not, I just appreciate all of you, and I am so glad that I was able to take you on a little excursion just as a big thank you for everything you do, which you do far more than I could ever make up for. But I just had to say thank you, and thank you for celebrating our 30th anniversary with us. Michael did get me a little something. He replaced something that I lost. So I do have a little something new. And all of you know we had a house, well, not all of you, but we had a house fire. And so there were things that were lost in that fire. And for our 30th anniversary, Michael did replace one of them. So something that I lost. So anyway, that's my story for today. I know it's a little longer than most, but I just had to tell you about Ventura and Santa Barbara. We just had the best time ever. And walking up, and he's got Sumi ink, and I'm like, I know Sumi ink. And he's playing with watercolors, and he's got Yasutomo brushes, and I'm like, you're my people. And he's looking at me like I'm a crazy lady, but that's okay. The crazy lady bought his painting. All right, you guys, so I'm going to tilt down. We're going to get started for today. Hello. Welcome to Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and get ready for a super fun class today. We're doing some embossing, we're doing some stamping, we're playing with FineTec, and I think that's where I'm going to start. So down we go. It's good to see everybody. Hello. I can see you so much better now that I have my glasses on. All right, so let's zoom on in. I am my own camera person, so we're not very high tech here at all. We're a low budget, kind of place. We're just an independent store, just trying to keep the lights on. Now I've got my FineTec. So FineTec paints are made by a company that out of Germany. So a company called DrawTech actually. And we've got several sets, and we've been using them over the last month in the studio with Stacey classes. So if you really want to get a better understanding of FineTec, I recommend you go and you look in our In the Studio with Stacey classes. I just can't quite get this where I want it. Because every Tuesday for the past month, I've been using FineTec product. So FineTec out of Germany by DrawTech, they have been around since the late 1800s. That's a long time. And look they are beautiful. These are watercolor iridescent or pearlescent metallic watercolors. The pans are still hand-filled. They're hand-filled, and FineTec it's a cut above. It's beyond. It is fine art product. There's no question about it. These are fine art product, and what they do and how long they last, and the amount of mica and brilliance in these far exceed anything else. Now there are some other pans out there that if you Google FineTec, they will come up and you will see that they are circles instead of these rectangular pans. They're in circles, and they're not hand filled. I think some of them maybe have a debossed emblem in some of them. So at some point, DrawTech was one company, and at some point they split off into two. And the secondary person, they went this. And I don't know if it was in the early 1900s. I don't exactly know when that happened, or maybe it was in 1970. which to me doesn't seem that long ago, but apparently it is. So they went two different ways. And even though the product may say FineTec, and they might be beautiful quality as well. I just want you to know that the only way to get FineTec product is if it is sold in this kind of rectangular pan, and it has that trademark wavy look to it. That means it's been hand filled. So even if it says FineTec, if it's in a circular pan, it is not FineTec. It may do the job and you may be just as happy with it. I don't know. But I don't want you to think you're buying one thing when you're really buying the other. So FineTec is a watercolor. It is, again, fine art material. It is not something that you would see in your average paper crafting store, but it is something you would see in your average fine art store. They are easy to use and they are stunning. I am very lucky. I have the opportunity to play with lots of colors. So I have several sets of my own. And I'm very grateful. Now, none of these colors are the same. All of these colors are different. We generally sell them in the six pack. That's what most people like. But the rainbow is the 12 pack that we sell. We just got the setup to do open stock. So the nice thing about these is that if you use a color more than others, maybe this is a color that you use a lot, you can then just buy this pan to replace it, and it just pops right back into your case. So all open stock, and yes, we even have what they call the pixie dust colors. These are the interference colors. They start white, but when you put them on dark paper, they become something completely different. So today we're going to be playing with these. And yes, we have them on sale, but honestly, if you have an independent art store, we recommend you go shop them. All the independents, everybody needs help right now. So if you're lucky enough to have that independent art store, go say hello. Tell them Stacey, a brand ambassador for Royal Talons, sent you, and take a look at the FineTec. They'll have beautiful things to show you. So we're going to start with those. And I just want to quickly show you, you know what, maybe, should I do it on, I think I'll do it on watercolor paper. I have some small sheets of watercolor paper here. I just want to show you kind of the vibrancy and the opacity of FineTec, because while they are a watercolor, they also are very opaque. You can make them more translucent, but they do come out quite opaque, almost like a gouache. I'm trying to see if I've got any of my maker's tape. So a gouache is a watercolor, but it's an opaque watercolor. So I think I'm just going to try and do a couple swatches for you, just so you can see what they look like. Now, how could I lose it? It was just here. That one's a little short. All right, so I'm going to do a couple swatches, and let me do this one because we'll do the pixie dust over here so you can see them. This time I'm going to leave lots of room. I'm going to give myself lots of extra tape. Ooh, by the hair of a chinny chin chin, but that's okay. We'll make do. Okay, so first off, I'm just gonna pull some colors from my rainbow set. And I've got my pixie dust right on top of it. I am gonna be using my fusion brushes. So these are Yasutomo watercolor brushes. Funny thing is, these aren't the brushes he was using because he was using Sumi ink. But they were Yasutomo. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. I've got a little bit of water going on over here. And these react very quickly. You don't need to add tons of water to them to get them moving. You don't need to take a mister and mist into them to get them moving. And depending on what you're doing with them, sometimes less water is better. You can get them really, really wet if you want. It's really up to you. When they dry, as that water evaporates, what's left is the beautiful watercolor paint. Can they blend? Oh, howdy, can they blend. They're beautiful, blended and mixed together. All right, so I'm just going to add a few colors. Now I'm making it almost into a little bit of a paste. And then you need to let them dry. You gotta let them dry. That's when the magic happens, is as that water evaporates. You gotta give them a chance to do their thing. And I'm just going to pick up some color from 6 of these so you can see, and then we'll set it aside and we'll let it dry. And I'm not digging my color up. I'm not scooping into my pans. I'm using the flat of my brush to grab my color. I think I might pick a little bit more green up. I think I have. I'm just trying to make kind of a little bit of a paste. There we go. And then my last one, I'll do some purple. All right, I'm gonna set these aside to dry, but you can already see that they're starting to come to life, and they are beautiful. More opaque than translucent unless I start adding water to it, and then it will thin it out. So let's set this one aside and let me do the interference colors. These are called interference colors. That's because they start as a white base, but when you add them to a dark paper, and it doesn't have to be black, it can be brown, it can be blue, it can be purple, it can be a dark pink, but when you add them to a darker paper, that interference takes over. The light reflects off the darker paper differently than it will off white paper, and you get a completely different look. So I'm gonna do it on black paper first, and again, these are a fine art products. So you are buying top of the line quality. That's what you're getting, which means you use less than you typically need from other watercolor paints that have, well, I don't know that any of them have quite this amount of mica in them. FineTec is a pretty special thing. So let's go ahead and let me, so it looks white, And yet when I paint with it, it's got that reflection. That's that right there. Interference paints, acrylics, they're wonderful. And they mix with other colors to add this undercurrent, this undertow, this subcolor that's slightly underneath, that when you move it, you get this beautiful sheen. So this is a great blue, and if I added this blue to one of my pinks, my pink would still look pink, but kind of as I turn it, you will see the blue come through. So this one's got a little bit of a purple to it. And I'm not digging, I'm just making a paste. That looks good. Oh, those colors are so pretty. I think that looks good. So now you can see the difference of an interference color and what they look like traditionally in the pan versus what they look like once you put them down. So I went a little light on that one. I probably could go back in and maybe add another, just a little bit more on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe darken it up just a little bit. Hopefully I did 5, 6. Hopefully I did it right. So we're gonna let these dry. And while we let these dry, these have dried. Ooh. And these are just some of the colors. Yes, please, hello. So you can't get this kind of a sheen and a shine from just anything. They're beautiful. But just as a quick reference, let's do some of the interference on white paper. So because it's on white paper, you don't really see much. Let's do the next color. It will leave a slight hint of the interference color, but you'll only see it as it dries and kind of as you put it on an angle. So completely different. This one's still wet, but completely different than when you put it onto a dark paper. Completely different. Now these I did completely opaque, and these I left a little bit light. So you could see that you can add or take a little bit more water to them and have them a little bit more translucent versus your fully opaque. But on white paper, you can see that iridescence, it's there. And that may be something you're looking for if you're working on wings or who knows what, snow. So the difference between white and black when you're talking about what they call the pixie dust colors is quite extreme. These are magic. They're absolutely gorgeous, and the camera does not do them justice. So I'm going to put those over here, and now that we kind of have an understanding of what FineTec is, how long they've been around, that they are a fine art quality paint, which means that in 5 years, if you finally use up this color and you need to buy another one, you're going to have the exact same color. It's going to match exactly. That is what fine art means. It is the quality and standard of the product. These are highly, highly saturated. They are highly mica'd, and the quality standard since the 1800s is the same. You can count on them. They have to. Artists have to count on them to know that it's not like paper in the paper crafting world where you buy a 12 by 12 piece of red cardstock, and then you go back 3 weeks later and the red cardstock has been restocked, but it says it's the same name and it's the same SKU, but the red isn't quite the same red. It's because the dye lot changed. There are no dye lots. This is what they do all day long, every day. Like Amsterdam acrylics, or like Van Gogh watercolors, or Ecoline. They all are fine art products. Now today we're going to play with Tim Holtz embossing folders, and I've got a few. Well, I've got a lot of them, don't get me wrong. We put them all on sale, but I'm going to play with a few of them today in both the larger size, and then I might play with a few of them in the smaller size. And we are going to stick to darker paper, so I am going to be working with black paper. I'm also going to be working with my Amsterdam Standard acrylic in the white and in the black. So this is acrylic paint, which means it has a plastic element to it, and it dries beautifully. They are completely opaque because they have a full square that is dotted in, that's solid. That means that it's completely opaque. They are by Royal Talons. And that little square, if it was just an empty square, that means that they're transparent. And if it was a half square, that means it's translucent. And if there's an X in the square, I think means that they're semi-opaque. These are completely opaque, and they have an excellent light fast rating, which means that these colors will not fade for 100 years. Now, I generally don't buy the big tubes of anything. We carry the small 20 mil tubes because the paint goes a really long way, except for the white and the black. I have the big tubes because I use the white and the black all the time. If you go to tint any of your acrylics, you're going to use the white. And if you want to shade, you're going to use the black, but I use them all the time for many things like what I'm going to be doing today. And we're going to use both. First thing I'm going to do is grab some paper. And for today, for the most part today, I'm just going to use 110 pound black cardstock. I might use some watercolor paper later, but I want to show you that you can use just 110 pound cardstock. So I'm going to cut up some pieces for myself, and we are going to paint them. Now, we're not going to paint them like we're painting a beautiful picture. We're going to just get some color down and have some fun with it. So I'm going to bring back some of my colors and decide what makes my heart happy. Let's see. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab a baby wipe and let's get some of my color. So I always start with like a gold or a silver or, I don't know, they're all so pretty. Rub my brush in there, you absolutely could then take this and put this into a palette and draw from there. But it doesn't take a lot of water to make it happy. Now I tend to put my fingers in it, and I'm just gonna hit and miss. That's all I'm gonna do, hit and miss. Which one do I wanna do first? I think I'll do the leaf, well, no. I think I'm gonna do the leaves first, and I wanna do the leaves in a big one. Sorry, change of plan. I'm still gonna start with a gold. Now, as the water evaporates, all that's left behind is the paint. So it doesn't matter if you've got oodles of water in there. As it evaporates, what's left behind is your paint. Now these colors, holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, these, holy smokes, artichokes. These colors are dreamy, as is this one. And oh, and I stuck my thing in it, but that's okay. It's all gonna be good. And I'm gonna go in there. And let's throw some of this on top. And I'm not trying to be neat and fancy. I'm just trying to get it down. And when I need a little more water, I put a little more water in. Right? Look at that color. Look at that sheen and shine. Ooh, it's pretty. And I'm just going in and pulling in color. All right, so I think I'm gonna let that one sit for a minute. Maybe I add a little bit of green. Do I dare add the green? Well, no guts, no glory. Let's add a little green. And I'm just making my paste. Making it a little thicker. All right, I'm gonna let this sit and dry, and we're gonna do another one because I wanna do two sides. And I want you to be able to see the difference. Otherwise, I'd paint the back side. But let's just do this one completely different. All right, so I've got some color down. Let's pick another color. We try our blue. And again, I'm not being fussy with it. And then maybe some of our green. And then maybe a little bit of orange. Oh, you're not in there. Come on, sit in. There we go. Okay. Just kind of blend them into each other. Let's go ahead, we'll take our first one. See, look at that shine. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And let's take our, let me move these out of my way. Let's take our embossing folder, and I'm gonna start with the leaves. I guess I could have done half and half. Well, I could do that, then I could do both of them. Okay, then we'll do two. So I'm just gonna cut this in half and do half and half. This one isn't quite dry yet, but that's all right, we're gonna go for it. So when I put it in the embossing folder so that you can see what happens, I've got the Sizzix logo here. I can see the index of the embossing folder. You can see that it's printed. That tells you that that's face up. And if I want the paper, my paper that I want to see on my finished project, I want that face up if that's where I want the embossing to be. But if I want it to be debossed, and I'm using a patterned or a printed or a painted piece of paper, I turn my paper upside down. So this is going to be embossed into the paint, and this is going to be debossed. And you'll see that. I'll show that to you when we are all done. I'll bring over my Big Shot machine. Now to do a 3D embossing folder by Sizzix in a Big Shot machine, it is really simple. All you need, I move my paper, all you need is your base platform that it comes with. You need your embossing folder. You need it with the paper in, ideally not over the top of each other. And then you just need one clear plate or a do not cut plate. You get two clear plates with your machine, so you just need to put one over the top and then you crank it through. It doesn't need anything more than that. It's not any more difficult than that. It's one of the easiest rolls there is. Embossing folders are a tool. They're something you add to your crafty arsenal that you will use again and again because it is the easiest way to transform a basic piece of paper into something pretty spectacular. So, here's my embossed side, and you can see those leaves popping up at you. This is also an embossed side. See those veins popping up at you? If the design is raised towards you, that's embossed. But if I turn this over and I turn this over, now the design is debossed into the paper. It's sitting down under, it's below. You've got the design now debossed in, recessed in, because it's raised here, so it has to be recessed on this side. So this one, all those veins are now debossed. So what are we going to do with them? Are we going to leave them like this? No. Let's take them and make them more than what they are. So for ease of use, I'm going to use one of my cutting plates. You can use an old one that's broken if you just want to have ease of use, because I'm going to use some acrylic paint, and I'm just going to be able to put it right on here and it's going to be easy peasy. So I think for the top, I'm going to use black, and we'll see how it looks. We may change our minds, but I'm going to take a little bit of black acrylic and I'm going to put a little dab, and a little dab will do ya. You don't need a lot. And if I need more, I'll add more, because I can always add more, but I can never put this back in the tube. It's like toothpaste. Once it's out, it's out. I'm going to take a brayer. Any brayer will do. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to brayer over the top. And where that raised design is, the brayer is going to lay down my acrylic paint. Now you can do this with a black ink pad. I used a waterproof ink pad by Jacquard and it will work. The black will slightly fade and you may have to do more than one coat. It doesn't fade, it gets the metallic into it and it's beautiful, but the acrylic will hold the black. So now I've got those leaves coming up at you with this beautiful acrylic behind it, or the watercolor behind it. But let's do it in the white and see what happens. So I'm going to take my brayer and I'm going to wipe down my brayer. Wipe down my table. And this is basically dry. It's basically dry. I can either clean this off now or clean it off later. I'm going to take it and flip it. And I'm going to put my white on the other side. And that way I have a palette and all I have to do is flip between the white and the black. So let's take my white acrylic. Just a little bit. You can always add more. Just trying to make sure I don't have too much on my brayer. And come over. And now we add the white. But the white is in a totally different area. It's highlighting a totally different part of the embossing folder than the black did. Clean off my brayer. Wipe down my table. So where the black highlighted the high points of the leaves, because that's the embossed part, the white highlighted the leaves themselves and left all the veining in the metallic. Really easy to do. Now the cool thing is, let's say you didn't like this and you're like, I don't care for the white that much. Maybe the white isn't for me. Flip it over. Add a little bit of black. And you're like, no, don't take the white away. Add a little bit of black. And now we get something different. Now the leaves are in the white and the black. It's up to you how you want it to look. Paper does have two sides, and you can ink both sides at the same time and run it through, and then decide what, paint both sides of your paper and then decide what it is you want to get. Now I'm going to do the other one. And we've already got this one. I'm going to paint one more big one just so we have two big ones so that the whole design kind of comes to life. I'm just going to let my paint dry for now. And I'm going to paint another large one. And while this one's drying, we'll emboss that one. As opposed to cutting it in half. And let's see. So get some color down. I think I'm going to go here. Get some color down. So I'm not being careful. And then maybe I go into my light. Get my fingers out of it. This color's beautiful. I'm going to add some red. You think that's good? All right, let's let it dry and see what we get. In the meantime, I've got this one to play with. So I'll push this out of my way. And bring over my other Tim Holtz embossing folder. Do I want to do this one in the negative or do I want to do this one in the positive? Do you think this one's... Well, let's try. Let's see what we get. So I've got my platform, I've got my embossing folder with the Sizzix name facing me, but I have turned my paper upside down. So I am working on the debossed side. Put my cut plate over the top, or my do not cut plate, and send it on through. And just roll, 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 roll. And then you can, if you wish to, bring it back. And let's see what we've got. So this would be what would normally be our embossing folder. And we'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. But we turn it over and this is what we have. And oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. This one's, well, we're gonna roll it. It's still kind of drying. Oh, it's still really wet. Should we go for it or not? It's only paper. This one I'm gonna do face up. It's not even watercolor paper, it's just black cardstock. And we roll, roll, roll. And that's what we've got. So now you can see the image embossed, the same image debossed, set down. And if I flip this around, now they're the same. And if I flip that around, now they're the same. Paper has two sides. For one side to be raised, the other side has to be depressed. In the best way possible. It's a very happy, it's recessed, not depressed. So now let's take and let's paint these. So let's start with this one, and we'll just do them in black. A little bit of black acrylic. And it's going to hit all the high points. All those raised high points are now getting the black acrylic. That's going to dry almost instantaneously on it because I've got such a thin layer going on. But it is beautiful, and it is kind of like magic, and it is really easy. But then we have the debossed side to do. So a little bit more black acrylic because I've used up what was on there. Just a dot, because once I put this down, it'll reactivate what's already on my palette. And I kind of move it in all directions because I just don't want too much on my brayer to start. And then we'll come in and we'll roll this one. Now already you can see there's a big difference. Because now the brayer is hitting the highest points, which is the background at this point because everything else is depressed in, recessed in. And I just keep picking up my ink. And I think either I add more ink or I be done. I think I'll be done. Okay. This is the same embossing folder, two completely different ways. Not that one is better than the other. They're just different. And if I had painted my paper both sides before I sent it through, I could paint on both sides and then decide which one I want to use. It's beautiful, right? See, it's hard with the leaves. It's hard because the pattern, it's hard to get the pattern in there. I should have done the leaves all full size as well. Then you would have a better view. But I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it's easy and it's effective. And it's this FineTec paint that gives you this high metallic, refractive, iridescence, pearlescence to it. And that only comes with high-end quality, fine art quality product. So then I wipe down my craft mat. And if I wanted to, I could wipe down my cut plate, just so you can see that I'm just using a baby wipe. You can see what cuts I've made. But I'm just cleaning it up. Now, if I were to use this for black and white all times, I probably wouldn't clean it. I probably would just let my paint stay there and be there, and it would be fine. Come in and give it a wipe down. And then I can use it again. So those were the first two I did, and I think that this is the best example because it's bigger so you can see it. But I wanted to do a couple of the small Tim Holtz embossing folders as well. And I'm gonna go with these two. And I think we'll do this one in black and we'll do this one in white. So I have to start by painting some paper. And you're asking, why do you paint your paper first? Because if you emboss first, it's harder to get all the nooks and crannies with your paint. It's more of a challenge. So let's do the gears first. So I'm going to go with a gold. and I don't know, they must make 10 different golds. And I'm going to try and do apples to apples. So use the same color. I'm going to paint both of them at the same time. And that way when we do the front and the back, we've used the same colors, and I'm just haphazardly. And then because it's gears, I'm going to use the blues, and I'm going to use the greens, and maybe even some of the orange. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to use some of the blue. A little water goes a long way. You don't dip your brush very deep in your water well at all. A little water goes a long way with these. So I'm just going to add some blue. And then let's add some green. And again, I know they have more than 50 colors. I don't know how many on top of 50. And there are two qualities to FineTec. There's the standard and the premium. Premium colors are always going to cost more, and that has to do with what they've used to make the colors. Like some of them have actual pure silver in the paint to get the color that they want. And those are going to cost more than paints that don't have pure silver added to it. So they have the premium and they have the standard. And I think I'll add a little bit of orange. We're going to do like a guy card. And I'm just going to kind of let it be kind of a rusty color. Oh, I probably could have used that one. That one's even more rusty. I think that's pretty good. I'll put a little bit more blue back in this one. And I think I'm going to let them go, and let's see what we get. Look at, I mean, hello, it's just wow. SMS girl Claire was bringing these upstairs, and they caught the sun, the samples that they made. She said they caught the sun, and it was like, wow. So I'm going to let that one dry. I think this one's closer to dry. It's still a little wet. You can see it's a little wet, but we're going to go for it. Ooh, maybe I should paint the other ones first real quick. And that way those will dry while these are going. And I'm going to do these in, because we're doing flowers, I'm going to do reds and pinks. Maybe that's the best plan, is to do both of them. So I'm going to bring over, I want to do reds and pinks. And I'm going to do them the same so we can see them the same. Okay, so I got some pink down. And I think I'll put some rose gold. This color, I don't know if you can, this color is amazing. It's like this beautiful rosy gold. Oh, dreamy. Look at that rosy gold. Isn't that beautiful? So in the studio with Stacey, I do those classes on Tuesday. And I take one type of fine art product and I use it for the whole month of Tuesdays. So you really get a strong foundation in what the product can do. And for September, it was FineTec. So I have got what will end up being, I think, 5 classes in FineTec. All right, I'm going to add another color. I need to add something more to it. I'm going to add a red. And maybe let that dry. And again, I'm just using 100-pound paper. So I'm not using water. Actually, it's 110-pound. It's the Stacey Park black 110-pound paper. We sell 25 sheets for $9.99. I'm gonna let that dry and let's add some red to this one. That red just adds that pop. And there you know it's one of my YouTubes. There's the fire trucks. We are on the main street here in Canyon Country, California. And I just want these all to kind of blend and make magic happen. All right, I think that one's good too. So now we've got where we've used the same colors and the same colors, and that's given these a little bit more. Oh, I could just sit here and do this all day long. It's just so pretty. So I'm gonna do these in the gears, and we're gonna do one. The normal way is if we were embossing a regular piece of paper. My Sizzix logo is there. You can see the indexing they've printed right onto the embossing folder. And remember, we put all our remaining Tim Holtz embossing folders on sale at, I think, 30% off. And these are folders from, I think most of them are from this year. We gotta make way for new stuff. I've got my base platform. I'll move my paints out of the way. I've got my base platform. I've got my embossing folder, and I always do it chomp, chomp, chomp. I always do it open side in first. Everybody does it a little differently. Some people will put it with the closed side in first. It doesn't make a difference and it doesn't harm the embossing folder. Some people put it at an angle. That way this line, the opening here, well, regardless of which side, isn't parallel to the roller, because sometimes you can get a ka-thump. If you just kind of slightly twist it, no ka-thump. Takes the same plate to go over the top and you just roll it through. And it is like butter. This isn't a difficult roll. And then if you want, you roll it on back. So once we do these, we're going to move into stamping. So I want to do both of these so we have apples to apples. Here's my embossing. I mean, that looks good just as is. Now this one, I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it upside down so that my painted side gets the debossed element to it. My chomp, chomp, chomp side goes first. You do whatever makes your heart happy. It just seems to take it in easier for me. Roll, roll, roll. So I've got emboss, deboss. Emboss, deboss. Here you can see that this is sticking up, but this is down. Same element, one is raised, one is down. So let's paint them, and you'll see the difference between the two. I'm going to grab my, and we're going to do it in black. So a little bit of acrylic. And a dab will do you. You can always add more, but you can't put it back in the tube. Now, if some of you are looking at this going, Stacey, I sure wish you would do something with a gel press. Wait, not today, but maybe soon. Maybe soon. We'll see. We're talking. All right, so now I can't remember which is which. This is my deboss. This is my emboss. And what do we think of that? But then we have this one to do, which is the debossed. And you can already see the difference. This is doing more of the background. I might need just a dab bit more paint. Just a dab. That's enough. That's enough. Okay. Which one do you like better? Here you've got the background painted in. The deboss, this is the deboss. Here you have the emboss. All the high points are painted in. Same embossing folder, same paint. Two totally different looks. And again, if I had painted both sides of my paper, I could then come back with my acrylic and paint both sides and then decide which one I like. If I had painted both sides, this is what I would have. I'd be going, oh, do I like this side? Or do I like this side? Or do I like this side? Or do I like this side? But so that we could show them side by side, I wanted to do them separately. Pretty cool, right? And that paint just lends to this. Oh, it's just so good. I mean, it looks like gears and wheels and metal and everything. Okay, let me wipe down my table. Now, acrylic paint, if you get it on you, if you get it on your clothes, you need to wipe it off your clothes quickly, because once it dries on your clothes, it's dry. Try and clean my brayer really good, because we're going to do the next one and I'm going to do it in white, which gives a much more vintage, shabby chic. I'm gonna hope that that's good. Oh, this is gonna kill me to wipe off this paint. Ugh. That hurt my heart just a little bit, but I need to flip it over. So I need it to be at least some kind of dry. All right, that should be good enough. I can flip it over, and let me just make sure my brayer is pretty clean. Looks pretty good. All right, let's run these through, because these are now dry. Ooh, pretty. And let's change our embossing folder to our floral. And I want to say we have maybe 10 or 12 Tim Holtz embossing folders. We have limited amounts, but at 30% off, you can't go wrong. So I'm going to do one up top. So this is going to be my embossed side, because my paper is facing up. Bring over my machine. Chomp, chomp first, slight angle. Do not cut plate or your cut plate. It makes no difference which one you use. Send it on through. 1 and 2. And see, that's pretty just the way it is. But let's do our debossed side. So now I'm going to take this and put it face down. Well, let's get here's my top, here's my Sizzix. Put it face down. Close it up, and let's send it on through. And once we've done these, we need to move on to stamping. You're like, stamping? Yes, stamping. So they look the same, but they're not, and we'll see it when it rolls. So they kind of look the same, but we'll see it when it rolls. And this time I'm going to use white, because I used black on these, and these are dry. Oh, that's beautiful. And I used black on this one. And I used black on this one. And I used black on the leaves. And then I used black and white on one of them. So let's see. Let's put a little bit of white. This is my debossed and this is my embossed. I can tell because these are all raised and they're all depressed, recessed. Here, I need to not say they're recessed. So I'm gonna kind of move this around because I don't want too much paint to start with. Oh, hello, beautiful. Holy smokes, artichokes. Okay, yes, thank you. Anytime, all day long. I could do this all day long. Oh my gosh. Okay. All day long. This is so pretty. Oh, I thought I liked the gears the best, but maybe I don't know now. So in white, okay, let's do the other side because, well, this is the debossed side. Okay, completely different look. I'm gonna add a little bit more white. Completely different look. Oh, I don't know which one I like better. This one, your flowers are more, you see all of the detail in your flower because it's just doing the outline. This one, your flowers are in the white. This one, the outline is going to be in the white. Oh, this is just spectacular. So now my flowers are left. And here, my flowers are done in the white. I don't know which one I like more. But same embossing folder, same color paints, my FineTec paints, I use the same colors, completely different looks. And they're almost dry. Acrylic dries really fast. When you are putting down a thin coat like I am, I mean, it's already dry on my craft mat. Well, it's almost dry on my Sizzix cutting plate too. Dries really fast, but then you can come back later. And get it off. And if I put a little water on here, it would come out even faster. All right, well, this is now my black and white palette. Absolutely. So we took FineTec and we painted our paper. And then we took our embossing folders. And because embossing folders have an embossed side and a debossed side, it allowed us to decide where we wanted to add the acrylic. So on this one, we painted the acrylic straight down, and all of the recessed there, I did it, the recessed areas of the embossing folder held the paint because the brayer never touched it. But this is the other side. This is this side where the recessed side, the recessed is the background and the image is what's embossed. And you feel it and you see it and you can see the difference between the two, even though it's the exact same embossing folder. Same with the gears. The exact same embossing folder, but two distinctly different looks. Oh, this is beautiful. This is with the greens and some orange and some blues, a little gold thrown in. And then we did it in the white, which gives you that antique vintage look to it, kind of a shabby, and whether you do the debossed side or the embossed side, they're both absolutely gorgeous. So Tim Holtz, well, any 3D embossing folders, what do you have? What have you got handy? I'm gonna put these there for right now. It's the FineTec paint and the acrylic that make them a step above. All right, we're gonna move into stamping now. And I'm still gonna stay with my FineTec paints. And I have grabbed some stamps from Indigo Blue. Indigo Blue is a UK company, small company like us, like small company. And I have pulled a couple in. Some beautiful, beautiful florals, and then these color me's. They've got the lily, and they've got the anemone, and then they've got the dahlia, and they've got the daisy. So these four, well, actually all 6 are part of the I Want It All bundle. There is no I Want It All bundle for the Tim Holtz embossing folders. We don't have the same amount of anything. And like some of them, we have like 20. That's it, 20. Some of them 25, but not anything in a big amount. But at 30% off, if you don't have them, grab them. So I'm gonna play with these, and I'm gonna start with the Color Me, and we're gonna finish with one of these. And I'm gonna still do these on some, I think I'm still gonna do these on some black, just my black cardstock. And maybe we play with the daisy. So they're red rubber cling. And I sure do like the anemone. I think I might play with the anemone. I love these. These are so beautiful. Can't you just see watercoloring these? Well, that's what we're gonna do. I had to. They're so pretty. I am going to use some Wow embossing powder. I'm going to use white embossing powder today. And because these are so small, I'm really just going to give them a back rub. I'm not going to go grab a block and a stamp, or a block and a positioner. I'm just going to kind of give them a back massage. Well, why not? I've got paper, sure. So let's start here, and let me make a funnel. No, that's not gonna work. All right, let's make a funnel for my embossing powder. So I'm going to use my Wow embossing medium. And this is well, the pad doesn't come this dirty. Mine is very dirty. It's very pretty. Let's see, do I have one? Look at the difference. So this is how it comes when it's new. And this is what it looks like when you've used it and used it and used it, and it's still fine, and I'm not going to get rid of it just because my pad looks that way. It's all good. It means it's loved and it's getting use. That's what it means. It's loved and it's getting some use. So I'm going to take it and I'm just going to ink up my stamp. So an embossing medium, for all intents and purposes, is a pigment-based ink that has no color, because pigment-based ink stays wet long enough for you to put embossing powder down on it. So it's a very slow drying type of ink. And me being me, I'm just gonna go for it, and hopefully we come close. So I'm just gonna give it a back massage. So there's no fixing it. If I don't get it, I can't fix it. I'm not on a stamp positioner. I think I'm good. Can you see the watermarked image? I think I'm okay. Let's throw some embossing powder on it and see if I am. So I'm going to use white. I'm going to take it across the top, and I'm going to let gravity do the work. And anywhere I've got that embossing powder, or the embossing medium, the embossing powder is going to stick. I think that looks pretty good. Just for good measure. All right, now I have to heat set this. If I don't do something with it and I wipe my finger across, the powder's going to wipe right with it. I must heat set this with a heat tool. Let's see. Just for those of you who have never seen. So here's my image. And no matter how long I let it sit like this, days, weeks, months, if I don't heat set it, it's going to wipe right away. This could have been 2 weeks from now, and it's sitting on my desk, and then I run my hand over it, and my powder moves, and there's no fixing it. At that point, you're done. You just throw it in the trash. It has to be heat set, and it can't be heat set with anything other than a heat tool, a crafting heat tool. You can try a paint stripper, but let me tell you, be prepared to burn your paper. So I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to do both of them. So I've got the daisy here, which is so pretty. Love daisies. They're the happy flower. And I'm willing to roll with it and not use a stamp positioner and hope that I'm close. And that I rub good enough to transfer my ink everywhere. So I just want to give it a nice back massage all over. Make sure I hit every part of it. Pull up, Well, it looks like I got a little too much in there. But let's see what we get. If I don't like it, I'll do it again. Oh, it's not so bad. But I want to get out all the extra embossing powder because these lines are super fine, which means I am using a super fine embossing powder. And that's what this is. This is the opaque white super fine. And you may be, well, like, what's the difference between embossing powders? Well, technically, and I think I might do this just one more time, just because. Technically, embossing powders are all made the same, just like glitters are all made the same. The difference is how finely ground are they? Think of coffee. How finely ground, or what's the grind you do for your coffee, or whatever it is you're grinding. Maybe you're making, I don't know, filling for your raviolis. You know, how fine do you have the meat ground or the chicken ground? That's what makes the difference. This is the same white embossing powder as a standard embossing powder from WOW, but the granules are bigger. And then they have a chunky embossing powder, and the granules are even thicker. And what happens is when the granules are super fine, they're able to cling onto the detail. Look at how detailed this stamp is. If I used anything else, it would all just look white because those granules are bigger and they would take up all the space of the black. Not only that, but when I heat it, the bigger the granules are in your embossing powder, the more they melt and spread. The smaller they are, the more they stay where they are. There's not enough for them to melt and spread. They just melt, not spread. But the bigger the granules, a standard embossing powder, if I go to heat this, all those black fine lines, all the fine lines you see will just disappear. Just disappear. Because the embossing powder will have taken over. It will have spread too much. So let's do this one more time. Just to make sure, and then we'll decide which one we're going to do. Okay, so now I've done 2 of them. Let's run the embossing powder down this one and let's see. I just start at the top and I let gravity do the work. Oh, there we go. I want to get rid of all that extra embossing powder so I can see those lines. All right, so now I've got 2 of these and 1 of those. Put my embossing powder back that I didn't use. Put my cap on because I'm notoriously spilling it. And now let's bring over our first one that's just been sitting here. It's just been sitting here. It's ready to be heat set. So I bring over my tool, my WOW tool, and it has two speeds. It has a little stand, a little kickstand so you can put it down. And what I think I like most about it is it has this cover that keeps you from burning yourself or anybody else burning themselves, little fingers maybe, because that the insert, the tool part in there, metal part is going to get hot because this is going to get hot. It has to be hot enough to melt the plastic. Blow dryer, no can do. Isn't going to happen. So I've melted half of it and I've left half without the heat. And can you see the difference in the white? See how this is dull and over here we're super bright? That means that my heat tool has melted this and this has now become a solid. It is a solid. And how long does it take to dry? Well, it doesn't really dry, it cools. So when your paper is cool, so is your image. You can touch your image and it won't move. But over here, if I were to touch this, well, it would just wipe away. Oh, and I just dragged my I just dragged my cord through my other one. So, well, so now I want to look at it and I want to make sure there's no dull spots. I should see kind of a sheen and a shine from it. And as long as there's no dull spots, I know I'm good. If there is a little dull area, I'll do it in the next one. That means you haven't added enough heat and you have to go back. I just want to make sure that all of this is done. Yeah, we're good. And it's cool. So I can touch it now. So there's one. I'm going to do this one, but leave a dull spot. Okay, so I've almost done the whole thing. Look at how fine those lines are. You can't do this with any other embossing powder. It has to be a super fine, micro fine. It has to be a fine embossing powder because anything else is just going to fill those lines in and it's just going to look like a solid piece of white. Now can you see where my dull spot is? I haven't added enough heat here. And if I touch it, it'll wipe right away. So that tells me I have to go back and add more heat. And once I do that, then I don't have a dull spot anymore. Now, because we've used embossing powder, we're making a resist out of our paper. We've taken it and we've added plastic to our paper, which is now going to resist things like water. Plastic and water don't like each other. If I were to put some drops of water, it just beads up. It won't absorb in because it's non-porous. Well, so is embossing powder. It's non-porous. You took a powdered plastic and turned it into a solid plastic. That means we can come in and we can paint over the top of it with our watercolors. So let's see what we've got. So I can get my paint. And I can start to come in and add my color. And where there's black, the color is going to hold to. But where there's white, it's resisting it. It's beating up on top. I can just take that and wipe that right off. Where there's black showing, my paint is going to absorb into that black paper, and where there's white, I can wipe off my extra paint. And because I'm going to cut this out, if I go outside my lines, no big deal. And I'm adding my metallic. Then I can just pull it up where it's on the white. Okay, I think we've got a good start there. So I'm putting my metallic down, and now maybe I come back and I mix some gold in. And I can blend that gold and pink together. And I'm just kind of mushing it in. Not a lot of practice here. You just kind of get it in there. Just paint all the way around. You don't have to be an artist to use fine art product. That's the quality of the product you're using, not the talent level of the person. I think I'm just about done, and then I'm going to let it sit. Okay, I think I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of a buff. Oh, can you see? Oh. So I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes, and then I'm going to give it a little bit of a buff. once it's dry, to wipe off any of the paint that's still on. Oh my gosh. Oh yes, I love it. I'm so happy. I'm gonna do this one now. So what do we want to do with this one? How about we do this in like bold oranges? Oh, this color is dreamy. I'm playing with this color right there. And it's just a little bit of yum. I'm trying to get it closer so you can see it. I guess I can put that on top of there. And again, I'm going to cut them out, so I don't care if I go over past. And all I'm trying to do is get this in those super fine lines where the black is showing. Super fine lines. But what's going to happen is that as it dries, oh, see, you can already see it coming through. So good. And it requires so little paint. More water than anything else. A little bit more water. So with this, it's more water than anything else. So I've got to start, and now let's come back in with another color. Think that's gold is going to show enough? I don't know that it is. That orange is so bold. Maybe I mixed just a little bit of pink. I'm not giving up on my gold yet. I think I'm going to let that sit. And as I move it, I can see what I've done. So as I move it, I can see the colors. In fact, holding it up is easier. I can get the reflection and see where my colors are. All right, I'll let that be. And bring this one back. See, now that I see it, now I can see the colors. I should have been holding it up. I think I'm going to add a little bit darker to it. Oh yeah, and just blend them together. Oh, so much better. Oh, beautiful. Okay, let that one dry. Let this one dry. Look at that. You think this one's about dry? Yeah, it is. I'm going to take a little bit of a paper towel and just kind of give it a little bit of a buff. So let's cut it out. Yeah. Look at how pretty is that. That iridescence coming up. Something that didn't have this much mica in it, this much shine to it, would just get lost in all of that white. But the FineTec doesn't. The FineTec, it winks at you, but it's not glitter. But as you move it, it absolutely winks at you. Gosh, we should make those into something. Look at that. It's just, and no matter which way you turn it, it's a different view. It's a different look. It's a different, Okay, yes, I could do these all day long too, because I think these are every bit as gorgeous as our embossing folders. Where did I put our embossing folders? Anybody see where I put our embossing folders? I'm so bad about that. Oh, here. I think they're every bit as gorgeous as the embossing folder. Could I have done them in black? I think I could have, but I don't know that it would be as striking as it is in white. So we'll make, I think we might make something with those. Remind me that I put them over there. So then I want to stamp another one, and I'm not sure if I want to do this one or that one, or if I want to do both of them. I think I'm going to do this one. Ooh. So I'm going to do a white embossing powder on this as well. I might need a positioner for this. I don't know if I can get a good stamped image just doing a back rub, but we're gonna try. Oh, I think that might be okay. See the watermark? Let's put some embossing powder down and see what we get. So again, I just don't throw my embossing powder on and then try to tap it all over everything. I start at the top and I kind of draw a little line across, and then I let gravity do the work for me. It's just easier that way. I think that's okay. Put all my embossing powder back. I didn't use an anti-static, I'm just gonna go for it. And let's heat set. Make sure I get everything from that dingy kind of gray white to a nice bright white. So as my paper cools, so does my embossing powder. If I touch it while my paper's still hot, it'll smear. But once my paper is cool, then I can touch it, and I can still tell my paper's still a little warm, but it looks like I don't have any dull spots. It looks like I got all of it embossed. And now we're gonna paint. My embossing powder is going to act as my resist again. And the paint is resisting the white lines. It's just coming right off of it. It's moving right away. It's going, no! And look at how far a little bit of my paint goes. Okay, there's one. A little bit of water. It's that water that helps it resist. A little bit of water, a dab of paint. Okay, and let's do my last one. And the paint is finding every place that is not embossed. It's finding the paper, it's holding to it, it's absorbing into it. And we have a start. So I put a little bit of orange in there. Now the colors that I'm using, I've got 3 palettes sitting in front of me, and none of the colors are the same. The rainbow is like the most universal because it gives you almost every color to start with. It's hard to decide what colors to start with because there's not a bad color in the bunch. They all are absolutely beautiful. And you don't use much. These will last you quite a long time. I mean, really, they will. So now I'm getting some more color going on in there. And then maybe just a little bit of So I'm wiping off my brush, and as I'm wiping off my brush, I'm wiping off the moisture, which is allowing me then to blend those colors into each other. Now what are we going to do for the rest of it? Get our leaves. Maybe a little blue. And I'm just filling in space. That's all I'm doing is filling in space. So easy, so pretty. Now, Claire was kind enough to do one on, this is beautiful. Oh, good. I'm so happy. Claire was kind enough to do on watercolor paper for me. So I've got a few on watercolor paper. And I'm going to show you the difference. I was using 100-pound cardstock, 110. Now I'm going to do it on watercolor paper. And I'm going to use my Hockey brush. And I'm going to get my paper wet. It's already been stamped, it's already been embossed. Because now I can come in and I can drop my color. So now I can come in and I can drop my color and it's going to start to move and fill in the spaces. Because I'm working on watercolor paper, so it's going to resist, it's going to act the same way. It's going to resist my white lines. But I literally can come in and drop color. My entire sheet of paper, of watercolor paper, is wet. I did that with my Hockey brush. My 110-pound paper might not like to absorb this much water. It was fine for what I did, which was painting. So let's get these all purple. Because then that's where the magic happens, and I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it or not. But now that my paper is wet, now I can come in and decide what other color do I want to use. And I can literally just dot it right in. And because everything's so wet, it's going to blend itself together. With watercolor paper, it is all about the water. You want water. And it's resisting that white. And I'm just going to let it flow into itself. Literally let it start to just move into itself. And let the water do the work. The more water I add, the more it flows. The more water I add, I'm just dabbing it with water on the edges, and it will start to flow and move into the other colors. Look at how wet it is. And I just dab until my heart's content. And let the water do the work. Got it outside. Right, I think I'm gonna let those be. And let's do get my leaves done. And then I think I'll go around this, maybe in the blue. And just fill in some of that negative space. So I'm not trying to worry about painting so much. I'm just trying to fill in the space around. And where there's paper, the paint will adhere, and where there isn't, it will bead up and we can wipe it away. And then I think, because I can, I'm going to do the background too. So So my paper's kind of dry now. Come back in and add a little bit more water. And because I've got it wet, it's going to try and find the little nooks and crannies. So I've got my paintbrush really wet. And then I think I'm going to come back. With a little of my blue. I think I'm going to blot some of it up. To give a little bit of texture. The watercolor paper can take a lot of working on. It'll allow you to do a lot to it. All right, I think I'm going to let it sit and see what it ends up being before I do any more to it. But I wanted that center to be highlighted. So I did it on just black paper, and then I did it on watercolor paper, and you can see it's still wet. Watercolor paper has something called sizing in it, and sizing is something that's added to the paper. See, I can see that. I want to fix that. Sizing is something that's added to the paper that controls the absorption rate of liquid. And the better the watercolor paper, the better the sizing, and the more control over the absorption rate. So I'm using Van Gogh, which is a great watercolor paper. But this has been discontinued. This is the 25 pack. It's the postcard pack. So it's 4x6 and it's discontinued, and it was $24. So we put it on sale for $9.99 because it's discontinued, so it has to go. But wow. Look at how blue that blue is against there. And as it dries, all of these colors will become more vibrant as the water evaporates, leaving just behind the paint. Holy smokes, artichokes, we did a lot. We did a lot. I was gonna make some stuff and finish some stuff, and I did not get to do that at all. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I love this one too. I mean, I think they're beautiful. I love these stamps, and I didn't even play with this one. I feel badly. I didn't play with this one. But this one's even easier. This one's even easier to color. Take your Hockey brush, because I'm on watercolor paper. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Those are my sound effects. Sound effects required. Zoop, zoop, zoop. It's me painting my watercolor paper. And then me going in and dropping color. And I'm literally dropping dots and letting the dots spread out on their own. So I didn't add any more paint to my paintbrush. I added more water to my paintbrush. And I'm dropping dots. And then I can pull another color. And drop dots. So I'm dropping gold in there now. And it's all about the water. You've got enough paint on your paintbrush to do it all. It's all about the water. Look at how much water I've got going on. But that's what makes it work. That's what makes magic happen. Oh, too much. Well, I want to finish, but I need to. We've got some beautiful samples with this. I know Claire made some beautiful samples with this. And because it's an embossing powder, it's resisting. And I can just go in here and finish the whole thing. But I won't. But I could, but I won't. So we started way back when. We started way back when we pulled the Tim Holtz embossing folders, and I played with a couple of them. I did some of the big sizes, and they're all on sale at 30% off. And I did some of the little sizes. And we painted our paper first. We just painted our paper haphazardly. We didn't pay any bit of attention to what we were doing. We were just having fun. And ultimately, what we made was here and here, brayering it with white acrylic. Same embossing folder, one side's the positive, one side's the negative. Which one do you like better? Thing is, you don't have to choose, you get both. And we did the gears. Same thing, one side positive, one side negative, two completely different looks, both beautiful. This one we ran over the top with the acrylic paint to add the black. This one we ran over the top with the acrylic paint to add the black. And where the high points are is where the paint holds. So remember, all of this was painted in these colors. The whole sheet was painted. It was when we embossed it and then went over the top with the brayer that added that matte acrylic right over the top. But this one, we took and we put the brayer over the top and it hit all the high points. So it hit the detail. Completely different looks. So we started here. And it was easy peasy mac and cheesy. Then we played with the stamps. And we stamped super fine lines, but look at how that FineTec has grabbed the paper and is holding on to the paper. Wait till you see the samples with these. They are stunning. And all we did was stamp and go in there and add our paint and let the paint resist all the white. And it's got that beautiful sheen. Every time you turn it, it's a different something. It's a different wow moment. And then we went in and we painted. So I did these two. This one on watercolor paper. This one just on black cardstock. But I want to show you some of what Claire did. So let's see. This one and that one. And that one. That one. Yeah, so I want to show you some of these before we get to the samples. So like here is the leaves done with the black over the top. Here's one of the other Tim Holtz folders that I didn't use today. That's the deboss side with the black over the top. There's the emboss. Here is one of Claire's florals. See, I started this one, but all done with the FineTec. All on watercolor paper. And here's another floral. All done on watercolor paper and done with the FineTec. There's the opposite of the leaves. So this one was the positive, so it was the emboss side, and here's the deboss side. Oh, and here's the negative of this one. So this one done in black, this one done in white. Beautiful, aren't they? And these are what we didn't get to matte. This is what we didn't get to finish. All done with the FineTec, which is simply gorgeous. So, what do we have for you today? Oh my goodness, I've got a whole host of Tim Holtz embossing folders. Like, we used this one today, we used this one today. We didn't use this one, but we might have samples of it. I just showed you samples of this one. So these are all 3D embossing folders. And then we have the larger size, the wood grain. Wait till you see. I think Katie made a sample with the wood grain that is knock your socks off. All of them are on sale at 30% off. When they're gone, they're gone. I think Sizzix is pretty much sold out of them. They're not coming back. We need to make room. There's a beautiful sample with this one. So these are the A5s. These are the larger. We did use this one today. We did use this one, the Crackle. I have, I've got Fusion brushes on sale. I'm pretty sure we put the Fusion brushes on sale. If not, tell me and I'll put them on sale. We've got no, I'm sure we did. The acrylic from Amsterdam in the white and in the black, because this is what you're gonna brayer over. This is gonna give you that beautiful finish. You can use ink. You'll have to do more than one coat. We've got the Wow embossing powder, the Wow medium. We've got the heat tool for you, all on sale. I have got the stamps from Indigo Blue. So we have the I Want It All, which includes all 6 stamps. Love all 6 stamps. We've got the series of the Color Me, and then the Blazing Poppies and the Summer Lovin'. And all the samples are made with these 6 sets. So pretty. I Want It All, or open stock, whatever you want. The Tim Holtz is only open stock. And then I have got set after set after set of FineTec for you. And I used a few sets today. Wish I knew what color, this is, I think it's FO603 and 5600. So these are the iridescent colors, the pixie dust. This is the 12 pack, the rainbow. This is the metallics that I was using, the full set, FO600. So we've got several packs of FineTec, several sets of FineTec on sale they've been on sale for the month. And they go off sale once this YouTube is over, because by that time our In the Studio with Stacey for September will also be over, and we will move into a new product for In the Studio with Stacey. But they really are something, they're something special. I have 4 sets. I'm very lucky to have 4 sets. I opened 4 sets. I could have opened all the sets, but I'm like, no, I can't afford to have a set in all of them. But I did open 4 sets for me, and these are my palettes. This is what I play with. These are in my craft area all the time, and they just make my heart happy. I started with the rainbow, and then I grew from there. The rainbow is where I began, and the pixie dust. Yum. So, I think that's what's on sale for you. Let me show you some of the samples. Now the girls did amazing samples on limited amount of time and limited amount of people. They showed up on Wednesday, and we had honorary SMS girl Mary. I hope you're feeling better. And honorary SMS girl Gail was at an appointment, and honorary SMS girl Yvette had to fly home. She is up north with her dad right now. Okay, love this. Love this. And somebody took a little bit of a fine liner or a Sharpie and just went in and defined out the petals again. Love that. So pretty. Oh, look at this. So using the Tim Holtz folder. Making a slim line because you can, because that's how big they are. You can make a slim line out of his larger folders, no problem. Isn't that beautiful? So this is Claire. Yum, Claire, yum. Oh, this is beautiful. Okay, look at this. There's that Color Me flower. Even if you don't use FineTec, can't you see just using watercolors with these? Oh, dreamy. This is Catherine. Beautiful, Catherine. And another one. Look at this one. This is Dortina. Oh, Dortina. Oh my gosh. There's that daisy. Oh, you did it justice, girlfriend. Wow. all done with the FineTec. Look at that. And then we have Catherine again, all done with the FineTec, and then she used browns over the top of it. So she used a brown ink over the top of it. Maybe it stays on. Oh, see, these are beautiful. Look at that. Look at the color. Who did this one? Dortina, I think florals might be your thing. Wow. And then we've got, oh, see this one. This is done with the interference with the pixie dust colors on black with the embossing folder. This was done by Katie. Katie, this is so good. Those are all the interference colors, or the pixie dust colors that look like white. And she used this embossing folder. And who would think this embossing folder would look this amazing? Okay, then we've got Claire, and she's cut up her bits and pieces to make this card. So again, Tim Holtz embossing folder. And I've got, ooh, this one's pretty. Again, a Tim Holtz embossing folder and the FineTec. And this one is Patty. Love the colors, Patty. Look at how pretty they are. All done with the FineTec. And hello, friend. Claire, fussy cut out the edges of the leaves, done in the blues and the greens. Covered in the black to bring out the embossing. And thinking of you is Dortina. And she just took a half, look at that, she just halved it. And she's done the black over the embossed image, not the debossed image. Where Katie has done the white over the debossed image, and that's how all the flowers kept their color. This was by Katie. Okay, and here is the embossed image. No, this is also a debossed image. Look at the difference between the white and the black. This one's by Dortina. Same embossing folder. Both of them done on the deboss. This one done with the white acrylic. This one done with the black acrylic. Oh my gosh. Oh. And who do we have here? Katie. Just a beautiful shabby chic done with the white acrylic and the FineTec. Soft, beautiful, elegant. Let me bring over the next stack because it is a stack. Look at here. This one's done by Patty. Well done, Patty. And by Patty again with the leaves. Oh, Patty, that's beautiful. With the white acrylic over the top. Oh, that's beautiful. And I'm so grateful. This is Catherine. Catherine put little squiggles in it. So you see the squiggles one way, but you don't see the squiggles the other. But then you see the squiggles, but then you don't. At this point, Catherine understood the refraction, and she's like, wait, I get it. The three-dimensional element to it. She's like, wait, I understand. The light is hitting it in a certain way. And because the light is hitting it in a certain way, and it refracts the, yes, Catherine, yes. And we have, oh, I don't know who made this one, but it's beautiful. Oh, I bet this is this my sample? And then the girls made it into a card? I think I did this one. And then the girls, this was my teaching. So it was like, okay, girls, this is what we're going to do. And then they got so wrapped up. I don't know who made this one either. They got so wrapped up in having so much fun with the paint and then embossing and then brayering over the top. I'm like, chop, chop, we have to have finished samples. So then they all felt bad and they did way more than they needed. This is amazing, you guys. I know I gave you like no time to get it done, and look at all you did. The honorary SMS girls are, and the SMS girls, because Claire is in here too, are amazing. Elena didn't get to make anything. She was busy. We had things to do. Look at this. This is Dortina. Look at, she put a frame around it. And there's that Tim Holtz embossing folder, and she painted over the embossing. She brayered over the embossed element. And on the white, this is Katie. Oh, this shabby chic is beautiful. They were just having so much fun, just making all the paint, doing all the paint, and then embossing, and then putting the acrylic over the top. It was like 3 o'clock, I want to say, and they finally said, oh, we probably need to make these into something. This is Dortina. Everybody started with stripes. When they started painting, I'm like, no stripes. Just kind of Mod Podge it all together. Just blend it all together. But it came out nice, Dortina. Oh, heavens, who did this? Claire. Wow, Claire. Wow, again, done with the FineTec. All of these were done with the FineTec. Now, we're not fine artists, but holy smokes, they sure do make it look like we are. These are beautiful, Claire. That's absolutely gorgeous. And this is Katie. I think Katie really liked the white acrylic. That's her jam. And vellum on top of the Tim Holtz. And then love. This looks like Patty. It is. Love this Patty. They just had, it was fun to hear them. They had such a good time. Okay, so here's some of the wood grain. Look at how good the wood grain looks. Look at how good the wood grain looks, right? Done with the black acrylic over the top. This is Claire. And look at how good the postal looks. Oh my gosh, this is Claire. All done with the FineTec and then the white over the top. Doesn't that look amazing? And this was me. I think this was me. No, this is Claire. I thought it was me, but it's Claire. She did it in gold embossing powder. Like, is that me? No, it's not me. It's Claire. Beautiful though, huh? Isn't that stamp gorgeous? And then thanks for being my friend is Catherine. Done with the leaves. Ooh, thinking of you. Die cutting it all was Dortina. Ooh. 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 A dream is a wish your heart makes. Who made this one? Ooh. Oh my gosh. See, I don't see these. I don't see them until you do. Ooh. Oh, happy birthday, Claire. Stunning. You did the flowers. You and Dortina rocked these flowers. Well, you, Dortina, Catherine. Did Katie do any? I don't know. Oh, they're just amazing. Look at that. It just winks at you. And then this one, grateful for you. This is Catherine. Catherine, this is so beautiful. Yes, that's one of the Color Me flowers. And she embossed it and she painted it. Wow. Catherine, that is art, Catherine. We could frame that and let's sell it for $2,000. We'll put it in a gallery somewhere. Oh, see, this is the one Katie and Patty did. Look at that wood grain. Isn't that smash? And yes, they went over it with the acrylic to get the black put back on. This started as a whole piece that was just painted in the FineTec. Then they embossed it and then they brayered it. And wow. And then we have Congrats. And this is Dortina. They're so pretty. You guys did such a good job. Such a good job. FineTec is something, something special. It really is something special. And I'm glad that we have it. It's not the most inexpensive thing for sure, but you know what? Quality is quality, and you may need to save up for it, but it's definitely worth it. All right, you guys, we did a lot today. Hey, everybody. So did you have a good time? Did you learn something? First off, did you learn something? Hopefully I said something or showed you something, or we did something that you're like, I did not know that. Maybe the only thing you learned today was that FineTec was originally, the company started in the 1800s, the late 1800s, like 1872 or 1879, and that every pan is hand poured. Or maybe you didn't know that the little round pans that call themselves FineTec, no, they're not. You may love them just as much, just know it is not FineTec. Maybe you didn't know how magnificent the colors are, or maybe you didn't know brayer acrylic right over the top and bam, you've got something special, and that paper's got two sides. You can do the emboss side, you can do the deboss side. If you paint both sides and brayer both sides, then you decide when you're making whatever you're making. The stamps, stunning from Indigo Blue. That fine line detail, oh, swoon my heart. But you need to use a fine embossing powder, a detailed embossing powder, a super fine, ideally, embossing powder, so it holds those lines for you. I'm hoping that I showed you something, I taught you something, I maybe made you want to get out your stuff and let's play. So I'm Stacey, and this is Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Indigo Blue is available globally. Tim Holtz is available globally. FineTec is available globally. So if you have a retailer locally to yourselves, a fine art retailer, a paper crafting retailer, maybe you stop by and see if they have any of these products. And if not, then shop online and find a small independent online shop like us. Anybody who's independent, shop independent, shop small if you can. So Scrapbooking Made Simple is always there for you. It's all on sale. It's on sale for this week only. Once next Saturday comes along, I've got something brand new for you. And boy, do I have something brand new for you next week. So until then, or actually I see you Monday for our next Make It Monday event, where we bring you a value of between $80 and $100 for just $19.99 every Monday. Usually the value is between $80 and $100. Sometimes it's a little bit more than $100, and we try to do it for $19.99. So until then, you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging, and I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.